Are you a basketball player who's ever felt like your game has taken a giant step backwards? Or maybe you just feel like you're not really making any progress at all. Or maybe you found yourself falling into old bad habits. Well, today I'm going to share the concept of inchworming, which can help you play at your peak level more consistently while also adding things to your game and learning new things. Let's jump in and discuss. Welcome back to Learn Smart Together. I'm Coach Dave. I'm here every week to help basketball players become the smart, confident players that coaches love. So today, we're talking about something we all want to do, which is play and perform at our peak level, especially as we're entering a new basketball season. You've worked hard on your game all off season. You've probably played with your club team or, played some kind of summer basketball as well. So you've put a lot of work into your game so that you can have the best season ever, and you want to play at that peak level. What's the other thing that's going on in the beginning of a basketball season? Well, pretty soon you're going to be, kind of inundated with new things to learn. Maybe they're going to be new skills that your coach wants to emphasize this season and work on. Maybe it's, new moves that you're going to put into your game this season. Maybe it's a new offensive scheme, offensive plays, a defensive philosophy, different techniques. At the beginning of a basketball season, there's all this new stuff coming at you, sometimes like a fire hose, right? So you've got this kind of balancing act between playing at your peak level, that you want to play at your peak level, you want to perform in this new season, and you've got all this new stuff coming at you that you're trying to learn so that you can move your game forward, so that you can become a better basketball player, a better basketball team, and, move your best even, farther forward. So today we are going to talk about a concept called inchworming. You might say inchworming. What does inchworming have to do with basketball? Well, I want you to picture in your mind what an inchworm looks like, okay? Now, I don't really know the anatomy of an inchworm. I don't think they really have feet, but for the sake of you picturing in your mind, I want you to picture the front of an inchworm connected to the ground as their front foot. And the back of the inchworm is their back foot. And as you know, an inchworm kind of goes up, has a peak, and then comes back down and touches the ground in the front. Okay? You got that picture in your mind. You've pictured an inchworm. Now let's talk about how an inchworm actually moves forward. Okay? An inchworm, when they move forward, they actually kind of release the front foot and stretch it out forward. And as they stretch out forward, then they anchor that front foot. And then once they've anchored the front foot, they kind of release that back foot and move the back foot forward, close that gap between the front and the back, and then they anchor that. That's how they take a step forward. You got that kind of pictured, that movement of that inchworm in your head right now? Okay? And that's how they continue moving forward. Next step, stretch out in the front, secure it, bring the back foot to meet it, and now you've got that same inchworm peak, if you will. So how does that relate to you and your game? Well, let's say that the peak of the inchworm, the top of the arc of their back, is your peak level of play. So that's your peak performance, okay? How good your game can be. Those times when you're really on, when you don't seem to be able to miss. You're not really overthinking the game. Everything just kind of comes. All those good habits that you worked on are just kind of, happening. You're making good passes. You're playing good defense. you're communicating with your team, you're making shots, but it's all happening so naturally, you don't have to think about it. Okay, well, picture that's your peak level. So when the inchworm's feet are stationary, when they're not moving forward, it's easy to maintain that peak level. Same with your game. If you're not moving your game forward, well, your peak level is what it is. Your peak performance is what it is. But now let's talk about the front foot kind of representing you starting to move forward with your game, learning new things. Hey, I'll get back to the episode in just a second. I hope you're enjoying today's episode, and if you are, please share it. Share it with a player, share it with a parent, share it with a coach, anybody that you feel might need to hear it. I also wanted to give you a free gift that I've made available to you just for hanging out with me today. It's a checklist of skills for basketball players that want to become a better player, a better teammate, and to stand out to their coaches. Now, these skills are skills that are often overlooked, but they can be the foundation that a player can use to really achieve their goals. You can download it at hardsmarttogether.com/intangibles. I'll put a link below in the description as well, but it's hardsmarttogether.com/intangibles. Now let's jump back to today's episode. Learning the things that you'll start learning at the beginning of the season, implementing new skills, working on expanding your range, being introduced to new offenses, defenses, concepts, terminology, whatever the case might be, right? Well, as that inchworm's front foot moves forward, just like when you're bringing new stuff into your game, what happens? It flattens out, and the peak of the inchworm is much lower than when it's just stationary. So that can happen in your game as well. As you're introducing new things, your peak level might come down a bit because you're having to think about all those new things. Well, how do you, and then all of a sudden you see, oh, I didn't do this before. Why is this bad habit coming back? I haven't done that for years, or I haven't done that, I wasn't doing that in the off season. I wasn't making that mistake. That habit wasn't coming out. Well, that's because you haven't yet shored up the back of your game, the weaknesses in your game. And the inchworm's back foot represents the weaknesses in your game. We talk a lot about habits and building habits together. And when you're building a habit, it takes a long time. Remember, you have to go through each stage in the process of building a good habit. But all that represents, when you see these bad habits start creeping back in, all it represents is it's not a habit yet, that you haven't created a good habit yet, right? When you see your game starting to slip, when you see your performance starting to slip, when you're not as consistent, it means you haven't shored up the back end of your game. And progress happens, improvement happens, when you not only stretch yourself with new elements to bring into your game, but you also shore up the back end. And that is a place that so many players make the mistake, especially as we approach a new season. They go, well, I've worked on all that stuff in the off season, but you have to continue to shore up your weaknesses. You have to continue to, on the process of making those bad habits good habits. You have to keep working on all those little fundamentals while you move your game forward with new concepts, with new moves, with new plays, with all the new stuff. Whenever you learn a new skill, whenever you learn something new and add something to your game, you just became better, right? But you've got to shore up the back end, and then your peak performance, your best, just got better. You moved a little forward, like an inchworm, moving along the sidewalk. And so this concept can really help you, and should really help you throughout this season and throughout your career, really, as you see, oh, I'm just not playing as consistently as I was before. It's because you've maybe stretched yourself a little too much without shoring up the back end. And sometimes the best thing to do is go back and start shoring up those weaknesses, start shoring up those things those skills that aren't yet consistent good habits. Okay? Don't let this affect your confidence. Don't let you go, oh, I'm just not making progress, or man, I'm going backwards, or why are these bad habits coming in? You can't let that affect your confidence. Have this imagery of this inchworm in your head of how to move your game forward while steadily maintaining your peak level. So now your peak level is a little bit farther down and you're even a better player for your team. And your team's that much better. Okay? So that's the concept of inchworming. And I really want you to just remember that improvement doesn't happen from everything new that you bring into your game, but improvement happens from both sides. From the new things you're bringing into the game and from shoring up the back end of your game and the things that aren't there yet, the things that maybe aren't habits that you can perform under pressure in game-like situations at the end of the game. That's when you'll see that performance level dip a little bit and you realize, oh, I need to kind of shore up those habits as well. So, quick tip for you today. Whenever you're experiencing those times when your peak performance doesn't seem as consistent, remember, you got to inchworm your way forward. That's the inchworm concept. If you know anybody that could use this message, please forward it to them. Forward it to a player, forward it to a coach, forward it to a team, whoever you think could use this message. And I always like the likes. I love to hear from you. I love the comments. And until next week, remember to play hard. Remember to play together. So, what about that? I say it every week and hear play hard, play smart, and play together. See you next week.